Hit the HD in the lower right. Dexterity.
GJobs.com.
Everybody think back to the 90s and early 2000s. More specifically, how the baby boomers taught us how to survive. Sounds great in theory. Now, fast forward to current day, January 2nd of 2017. In June of this year, the very youngest portion of our generation, the millennials, will graduate high school. Far from adulthood, yet still a milestone. And let's acknowledge Generation X, which would be everybody in the United States older than Kobe Bryant, yet born after 1960. Those are the younger millennials' parents. But today, we're not here to talk about baby boomers, Gen X, or the millennials. This diagnostic is for the generation that has not been named yet. From the babies that have not been conceived, to those gestating inside of their mom, all the way on up through the current juniors in high school, born in the year 2000 and after. This video is called Schoolyard Confrontation. How well does it work out when you tell a human not to do something? Okay, we know the answer to that, which brings us to today's topic. Turns out cell phones are not just for filming aggressive policemen. Kids have them, and you can witness schoolyard behavior, both positive and negative. So if we tell bullies to stop, are we absolved of our responsibility? Of course not. Young adults and full adults still have to maintain accountability for how our kids interact. This is square one. Bullies usually have more friends than their victims. It's safe to say that's part of their motivation for antagonizing, pure amusement. For the kids on the business end of this treatment, some kids have no friends. Some kids are too small to fight. And some kids are slightly disabled. However, they're not exempt from mistreatment. Let's jump right into training. Step 1, eye contact. A common school of thought is to ignore the aggressor. And that's true to a certain extent. Only verbally. You can ignore what people say. You cannot ignore their presence. If you are taking a loss, or any human for that matter, is in the midst of taking a loss, that kid must learn to stand on his own 2 feet and look at his aggressor, even while taking a loss. Now, if there is observers, or if someone is filming with a phone, that child or teenager must look at everybody watching. Nobody gets to watch for free. You have to look at everybody that is looking at you, but you turn with your body and head and look at all of them. Even if they are laughing, even if there are multiple phones filming you, you look at each one. You have to see them seeing you. Everybody at one point or another takes losses, but there's nowhere to hide when it's happening. After people realize that they're looking at you, they will realize that they are paying you attention. And at the end of the day, although it is a confrontation, it is still attention, and that can be turned into a positive. When taking a loss, one becomes brazen and better prepared for the next encounter. Next, breathe. Breathe with your arms by your side and a neutral expression on your face. The conflict is in search of your reaction. Look forward. When crossing paths with the aggressor, look forward and walk straight. If you are outnumbered and must change course, stop and look at the group before you change course so that they can see you, see them. Stop and look, then change course. If you are too much younger or too much smaller than the antagonist and physical conflict is coming, then sometimes you gotta get creative.
What was that? What was that? What was that?
In their eyesight during lunch. Make sure they're in your eyesight as well, but sit in their eyesight so that they can see you, see them. Become good at something, even if it's math. Raise your hand and answer questions proudly, or the clarinet. Walk around with your musical instrument proudly and deliberately at school. And for everybody's own information, Google Mike Tyson and his response to being bullied. As adults, we can remind kids that some of the greatest men in history have been on the business end of inferior humans. Whether or not you think that Jesus Christ was magical or a regular man, we can't deny that he was crucified. He lived at a time where women could be killed for having intercourse. When he would interfere with an interaction such as this, it rubbed people the wrong way. Jesus wouldn't stand for it. And in the end, he got dealt with. JFK nailed Marilyn Monroe. One more time, JFK nailed Marilyn Monroe. Needless to say, there might have been a couple of jealous individuals. Malcolm X. Being smarter than everybody is one thing. Having a cult following is another thing. But to be a modern day messiah puts a bullseye on your back. There's a beautiful quote that says, "You know you're doing something right if all the dunces have joined in confederacy against you."
Get some jumpers in, Riley. Eyes up! Good work. Wide feet, higher and farther. Okay, those are not big jumps. Okay, that's good.